Shalom and good day, all. This is Tehillim29 back again for another DC comic review. And in this DC comic review, I'll be covering Blue Beetle Graduation Day by Trujillo and also Stargirl Lost Children by Jeff Johns. I'll now get things organized in relation to the one that I'll be starting off first and then moving on to the second. So, as we jump into the first one, which is the Blue Beetle Graduation Day, does this cover in any way, shape, or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Sure enough, it does, to which I give a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the internal art as well as looking at some of the things that are happening story-wise. So as the story begins, we have some members of the Justice League along with the Flash, Shazam, Green Lantern helping out. And of course, we move into what is happening with Ted Kord along with Victoria Kord and one of his friends that are with him. The fight continues and Batman decides to get involved in the action. As we move towards the end, we see how the Blue Beetle has actually gone throughout its changes. And we start off with like the first character that was like the original Blue Beetle, and then basically his successor takes place, and now the Jaime Reyes. And of course, we cannot forget Superman making his appearance in this, until of course we move towards the end. So for the internal art, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the story and its rating. And the first area that we're going to look at is time. Did we get anything addressing the area of time? No, we didn't. The next area is that of location. And did we get any indication of where a lot of these things are taking place location-wise? Even directly, not so much. The cast of characters consisting of Shazam, Green Lantern, Flash. We had Ted Kord, of course, Cyborg, Batman, Starfire, Blue Beetle, Jaime Reyes. We also had Black Condor, Victoria Kord, Dynasties, and last but not least, Superman, making their appearance in this actual run. For the overall story rating, I gave this a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move into Stargirl Lost Children. So as we begin Stargirl and Lost Children, or The Lost Children, does this cover in any way, shape, or form connect to something that is happening inside of the story? In essence, it does, but overall I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the internal art, as well as some of the things that are happening story-wise. And as the story begins, we get a great list of a cast of characters. I just wasn't able to write them all down, so I thought, okay, I might as well share it with the audience. And we get to see all of the characters that make their appearance in this particular issue. But there were some main characters that are sort of like connected to some of them that do play a part within the story as we move further onwards. But absolutely great splash page, including showing all the characters that are in this. As we start to catch up around the middle of the story, we have Emiko and Judy Garrick basically finally meeting up with each other. And we have, of course, the Childminder and Owlman doing their thing to sort of like try to apprehend the children who are trying to escape. Of course, we do get a bit of a reunion with Emiko and Stargirl, which is really nice. And we have Owlman basically claiming that he's the only one able to sort of like bring these characters back. But who is the one behind him, we will soon find out in the next issue. So, for the internal art, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move in the area of the location of time, to which we got no indication of, as when certain events were taking place. We still are at the key location of Orphan Island, but one thing that I would like to see a little bit more of in relation to Orphan Island is where some of the locations are in this place. Of course, we've had that prison thing to which the children were at, but that hasn't been brought up again. We've seen remnants of it in art form, but not necessarily in written form that indicates sort of like, is this like another location that's connected to the prison or somewhere else? It would not hurt to include that in the story. In fact, I think it would improve the story. But moving into last but not least, the thing that makes this comic what it is, and that is the cast of characters. Of course, we got to see everyone who was at the very beginning in the splash page, and like I mentioned before, I was unable to write them all down, but I was able to write down some of the key characters who played a role in this story. Of course, we had Stargirl, Imiko, Corky, oh my goodness, Judy Garrick, Sparky, WizKid, Dynamite. We also had Childminder and Owlman. For the overall story rating, I gave this a 7 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.